Let's talk NFL trade rumors now around Morgan Moses, the Washington football team right tackle. The football team is allowing him to search for a trade, and we'll break down several different potential destinations, including the Denver Broncos, which I've seen linked multiple times, and I'm actually not sure is the best fit. But we'll get to that later. First, I want to focus on Moses, the player here. Now, he's got 2 years left on his contract at about $7.75 million per year. That's not ridiculously expensive. That's actually relatively affordable. The problem is, I wonder if opposing teams are starting to suspect if Moses is on the decline. Now, he did grade out pretty well by Pro Football Focus, but his actual raw numbers, I don't think were all that great. 5 sacks, 13 hits, and 20 hurries were all allowed last season. That is a little bit more than I think what you would want to see allowed out of a right tackle. Now, again, there's a lot of different reasons there in terms of what could possibly be going on, different excuses, rationale, whatever. The O-line was a bit banged up for Washington. The run grade was still really good, but I thought he got beat a little bit more than you want in pass protection. But Washington, when they drafted Samuel Cosmi and then signed Charles Leno after spending kind of early day 3, late day 2 picks on guys like Jerron Christian and Sadiq Charles, I was like, there's a weird numbers game going on at tackle. That puts it at 5 guys who could make the team without Morgan Moses. I didn't even put him on this depth chart to make it clear that you could roll with Leno and Cosmi and Christian and Charles and Lucas and go 5 deep at offensive tackle and probably kick one of those guys inside to guard as needed from that perspective. So I get why Washington is open to trading him. Now, I did want to go through, I've looked through some different articles and suggestions and reports out there. 6 teams have kind of popped up as potential fits. The Denver Broncos, who we'll get to more in depth in a second. The Cincinnati Bengals, who, okay, that's intriguing to me. The Pittsburgh Steelers. The Arizona Cardinals, who I think they're really more or less fine on the offensive tackle spot there. The New York Jets actually do intrigue me quite a bit, and the Falcons as well. But I think Denver is getting grouped in with the, right tackle, Juwan James, by people who more or less forgot that the Denver Broncos have kind of taken care of their situation on the offense, as far as I'm concerned from that perspective. You're going to, of course, have Garrett Bowles lined up there at the left tackle spot. And they have signed both Bobby Massey and Cameron Fleming at right tackle. Now, are those guys great right tackles? Not necessarily. Are they better than Morgan Moses? I'm not entirely sure. But I do think Denver has committed to their right tackle position. I think they're going to roll with Bobby Massey. I think he's the guy for this team this year. Like, that's what I think the path is here for the Denver Broncos. They're not going to go after Morgan Moses. So if this had happened like 2 weeks ago, which is on Washington in the end, they would have been a logical fit. Because of that, I don't think it ends up being in Denver. And I don't even know in the end if Moses gets traded. So get your votes in for me. What do you guys think will end up happening here? Will the Washington football team find a trade partner for Morgan Moses? Get your votes in right now. Type in A for yes, they will, or type in B for no. We're once again chatting Aaron Rodgers trade now because Albert Breer of Sports Illustrated has put together quite a trade package. Now, as I'm sure you guys are fully aware here, the Rodgers trade rumors simply will not go away. They are absolutely everywhere. They're consistently mentioned in major media outlets, and the Denver Broncos are always one of the teams linked to Aaron Rodgers. I think for a pretty decent reason there. There's a good connection in terms of the fit and the role there in the end. So Albert Breer put together a ridiculously expensive trade package for Aaron Rodgers. So here it is, right? The Denver Broncos, of course, get Aaron Rodgers in this trade, a 2022 4th-round pick, and then they give up Drew Lock, Bradley Chubb, Dalton Reisner, 3 first-round picks, one each year from 2022, 2023, and in 2024, and a 2022 second-round selection. This is a massive trade offer. I mean, the package that's been put together here by Albert Breer is huge. 3 potential starters, 3 first-round picks, and a second-rounder for a on the wrong side of 35-year-old quarterback. That is expensive. So who says no? Who do you think would say no to this trade? Get your votes in. Type in GB for the Green Bay Packers or type in D for the Denver Broncos, or just G for the Green Bay Packers, excuse me. In the end, I think Denver says no to this trade. I'm a big fan of Aaron Rodgers. I am. I mean, the year he put together in 2020 was one of the best quarterback years we've seen put together. Like, I think we would all more or less agree with that one. That is a massive, massive haul and deal for the quarterback. And he's great. Don't get me wrong there. But the pieces that Denver's giving up, it's a lot. And I get it, some of you just want to find your franchise quarterback, right? Bradley Chubb. You're going to pay him and make him your number 1 edge rusher, right? So now you got to go find a new edge to help replace him and help identify that position of need. I love Dalton Risner. Now, I think Green Bay would love to get him, but can I offer Lloyd Cushenberry instead, or Netani Muti, or can I get them, Quinn Miners? That intrigues me. I love Risner. I don't want to move on from him. And at some level, I get it. You're giving up value to get one of the premier quarterbacks in the NFL. I understand that. But also 3 first-round picks, and I get those 3 first-round picks are kind of devalued because of just, the where Denver would be drafting with Aaron Rodgers. I kind of think it's too much. Now, at some level, that's what I would be asking for if I were Green Bay. And that's the type of offer I think would have to be put together if Green Bay really was not even interested in moving on from Aaron Rodgers. But I think Rodgers is kind of forcing himself out. And once you reach that stage, I think the value does get dropped down. I get moving on 3 first-round picks and a second-rounder. A player or 2 as well. Both guys, it's probably a little bit too much. Give up both Risner and Chubb. As good and great as Aaron Rodgers is, he's 37. You would have to win a Super Bowl for that trade to be worth it in the end if you're Denver. So get your votes in here right now for me. Is this too much? Is that trade package too expensive for Aaron Rodgers? Get your votes in right now. Type in Y for yes it is, or type in N for no it's not. As mentioned, today's show is made possible by Manscaped. When you go to manscaped.com/chat, you'll get 2 things beyond just all the great men's grooming products you'll get. You'll get 20% off, and you'll get free shipping. So it's a really fantastic deal there. All their products are available at manscaped.com/chat, including the brand new Lawnmower 4.0, new and improved, I might add. So go get yours today. It's manscaped.com/chat. Link is right there, bottom of your screen. It'll be in the comments section and in the description as well. So if you haven't already, go check them out. Get your product today. Again, that link, manscaped.com/chat. It's in the comments and in the description. Let's talk Joe Burrow now, as it appears the Bengals' alleged and planned and hopeful franchise quarterback is set to return in time for Week 1. That was the report from Adam Schefter, talking to the doctor who did it, that everything appears that it's good to go for Joe Burrow and for the Cincinnati Bengals. That's a big deal. The former number 1 overall pick who suffered an absolutely nasty and ugly, and I would say gruesome, left knee injury in November. Seems like he's going to be able to go in Week 1. Now, there was, I thought, a noteworthy note, that's bad grammar, but whatever, an important note from that report, that the doctors want to avoid contact for 9 months. And as a result, Joe Burrow might sit out some of the preseason. That is significant in terms of making sure he's good to go and fully back in time for Week 1. So what I want you guys to do right now is let me know in the comments section. What is your confidence level in Joe Burrow? Rated on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being you think he's a bust, his career is already done, the Bengals just don't know it yet. 10 being you think he's going to be the greatest quarterback in NFL history. Get your votes in right now. Now, when healthy, despite having a not-so-great offensive line, having some of his receivers not be very good, I am very excited to see what Joe Burrow is able to put together here. That intrigues me. Like, I think that if he can show and take the steps forward that we saw last year, Burrow's going to have a better year and will establish himself as a franchise quarterback. Now, I know what some of the concerns are around him. Namely, they didn't draft Penei Sewell. Oh my God, he's doomed on the offensive line. I will make this note, though, however. The offensive line that got Joe Burrow hurt doesn't remotely resemble the offensive line pictured on screen right now. Jonah Williams was banged up for a good portion of last year. Quentin Spain is an upgrade over a very bad guard in Michael Jordan. Trey Hopkins, when healthy, is a starting caliber center. We'll see if Jackson Carman can be a good player. He's a major upgrade over Michael Jordan as well. Riley Reif is far better than Bobby Hart ever was. So this offensive line, if Jackson Carman can start day one, it's by no means top 5 or top 10, but it should prevent Joe Burrow from getting killed behind him. Now, the reason why I was on board with the pick of Ja'Marr Chase over Penei Sewell is because this is now, the receiving core is finally an actual strength on the roster. Before this point, the Bengals didn't really have a strength in terms of a unit at any one area, especially after they got Gio Bernard at the running back position. But now Ja'Marr Chase, T. Higgins on the outside, Tyler Boyd in the slot, Auden Tate's wide receiver 4. That's a pretty good 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 1, 2, 3 for a young perspective for a franchise quarterback. So as long as the offensive line can do its job and prevent Joe Burrow from getting murdered again, I think he has the accuracy, the intangibles, and enough arm, which is not great, but it's enough there, to make some plays. So I like Joe Burrow, and frankly, I'm pretty excited to see what he can do behind the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line. So we will see what Burrow looks like in 2021. Coming off of the injury, I think there will be some rust and some developmental time there in the end, but I am very excited to see what Burrow can do, and I know Bengals fans everywhere are also very, very excited at this point.